Hello, Froggy here, and today I'll be showing you how to break the box in Destiny 2. For this example, we'll be using the Pit of Heresy on the moon. You can also do this at the start of the Deep Stone Crypt raid on Europa, and possibly many other areas. So, this is a bug with 3 parts. You need a donor zone to set a spawn point in, a target zone where you will be using that spawn point, and a kill zone, which leads into the target with a load zone that will kill you. But before we go more into that, we need to talk about parallel universes. The map in Destiny 2 is broken up into various regions connected by load zones. You'll notice when you hit these load zones if you're out of map that the terrain can vary wildly. But some things don't change. These areas we'll refer to as global ground. Step 1 of the bug is to identify an area of global ground. One example on the moon is Tannix's ship. So let's head over to there in Anchor of Light. This will be our donor zone, where we set our res point. It doesn't really matter if we ever use this res point, we just need to make sure that our ghost shows up here. Because you can't self-res in the target anyways, or you'll just go to the default. So, I'm going to respawn here, and you notice I don't actually care that I'm on the ground, because it seems, as far as we can tell, that only global ground will interfere with this, so we're free to move around basically normally. So you notice I do jump in the air here. I'm not sure if this is necessary, and further testing is needed, but I did not want to hold up the video doing even more testing after the week that it took to get this down. It's possible that this area, as it exists in both Anchor of Light and Hellmouth, could cause problems if you stood on it, so skip it for now. So this is our target zone. Doesn't matter if I hit the ground here either, because this is not global ground. Going to head over to the Lost Sector here, which will be acting as our kill zone. And there is a handy way we can die to the load zone heading back into Hellmouth, and that will complete the second step. Speaking of which, hi step. So we're going on in here, and we will hit the load zone in a moment. Once again, can't really mess up by touching the ground here, so we're pretty safe. Going to head back to the entrance, and there is a handy hole in the ceiling right there. Now we're just going to jump out, if, I can jump, and go up a level, and go up a level. Yeah, apparently I'm having a hard time with that today. So we're going to stand on this little bit of land, hit the load zone, and ideally you will die here. If you don't, just go back and try again. It doesn't actually hurt if you miss it. So now that you have your ghost set up, it's time to do step 3, getting the res. We're working on techniques for separating the ghost and res point, but we're not quite sure if that'll work yet. So in the meantime, we need to rely on auto-res. Auto-resing occurs in specific points along different sorts of missions, and it will automatically resurrect any ghosts. Luckily, there's one of these right at the beginning of Pit of Heresy. We just have the floor disappear, drop down, and as soon as you land, your allies will res. So now Step is outside of the box. However, it's pretty easy for him to pull me there too. I just do this again, get my res point there, and then Step can just walk over and res me. And there you go. We are out of the box in Hellmouth. You can use this same location to get out anywhere where Tanik's ship is present as well. I don't know how many zones that is on the moon, but probably all the surface ones. We may have to identify some other global ground below the Hellmouth if we want to get out of the box in those zones as well. So for a little context on how we got where we are now, back at the beginning of this season, I was exploring the Proving Ground strike. And if you've done that, you know it's very easy to die on your way into Alpha Selectus. So I noticed sometimes when I did that, I would see my ghost show up somewhere that I had been previously in that zone. It's kind of weird, and I didn't really know what to do with it, apart from maybe a shortcut back into different areas. But then Gerbsnail did it and got his res point on the obelisk out in Nessus. And at some point along the way, died hitting infantry concourse, heading back from Alpha Selectus, and saw that his res point was still on the obelisk. Naturally, we couldn't grab it because we couldn't get to there from infantry concourse, but later on, with the help of some insane no-resummon sparrow flying by Mad and Toyota Corolla and Daxamfi, we were able to verify that flying out into the obelisk from other areas, we could successfully transfer a res from Alpha Selectus over to any of a number of different areas. And then, with some more refinement, with the help of many people, we were able to identify a spot in the moon that we could do this as well. I've chosen a few clips to share because there's a lot of time in between coming across things. First up, you can actually reach the satellites you see passing by overhead. It can be a little tricky to line up with them. They're not solid, so you're not at any danger from them, but it is kind of nice to see it happen. Just gotta get the right height, line up, and got him. Get a nice view of the Hellmouth up here. Let's head over to the Scarlet Keep and see what it's like over there. Getting a bit closer. And here we go. Almost certainly not going to be solid. Let's see. And did I get pushed back by that? And well, that's not solid. How about this part? Oh, that's not solid either. Huh. Well, This will fall. Kind of neat seeing the underside of it. But yeah, this is a very exciting time to be playing Destiny. Going to have to see if we can use this to get into Shattered Throne. And who knows what else we can do.